How close was that to the fielder at short point? Maxwell is brilliant. Get 4 runs for it.
Well, it was definitely close to Maxwell, but it was hit like a tracer bullet. It's a poor delivery from Enriquez. That's one place you cannot bowl to Shakib. He's short and wide on the cut. You see there, back deep in his crease, hit hard. Just out of the reach of Maxwell at backward point. Had no chance.
Yeah, to start with, you put complete trust in technology when you make that point about Mushfiqur Rahim. We often say that the batsman knows when he's edged it. But if the ultra has just picked up on Nick at the right time, hot spot as well, there's a feather there. You can see a little spot there on the inside edge. So on this occasion, clearly, if you trust technology, it's an edge that the batsman hasn't heard.
Well, that's quite amazing. Especially an experienced player like he is, knowing that there is a review up his sleeve, big time of the game. Really surprised there.
17 overs gone. It's 57 for 3.
Ajay
Side edge. She deviates back onto maybe his front pad, yeah, and then onto the back pad as well. So it's maybe where the confusion came in with the umpire as well. There's a whole mixture of noises there. From here we thought it was just the 2 noises, but there's obviously 3.
Nice, Hetty.
Nicely bowled again, Travis said. Very consistent. Doesn't bowl many bad balls. Had a knack, certainly in Australia, of taking wickets in all forms of the game.
Nice,
Nicely
Hetty.
bowled again.
Nice, Maxie.
Well done. Like a real panther of the Maxwell
Shot coming
in that
in.
area.
Run down coming
I
in.
thought that needed as well from game 1 to game 2, Australia. I thought they were very flat game 1, particularly in the field. A bit more energy about out there today. And certainly bowled better as well to back that up. Just pushed down the ground from Shakib. Just one more, long off.
It was nice for the captain as well to be pretty candid about his team's performance. These days you see people saying the right thing, but Steve Smith made no bones about the fact that he was disappointed with the bowling. You don't get to hear captains say that as openly.
Oh, nice spinny.
Do you like that, Ricky? We'll get your answer on that when we come back. 59 for 3. Is he okay with captains voicing their opinions and being honest after a game on a public platform? Or you'd rather have the captain being politically correct?
Oh no, I'm all for that actually, but I think with someone like Steve Smith the other night, I'm pretty sure he would have talked to his bowlers in the dressing room first before he went into the press conference. So there's, the bowlers themselves would have known that they'll be addressed there and then. And I think that's a really refreshing thing, as you say, to have a rounded team. Whether it has to be talked about in the public is a different thing, but certainly this group of players that are representing Australia right now. They'll be very open and very honest with each other, and I think that's how they'll get the best out of themselves.
Yeah, there is Darren Lehman, the coach of the Australian team, had an opportunity, many opportunities, chances to speak to him during that test series when Australia was in India, 4 test matches, and you got that vibe with Darren Lehman that he wanted to be truthful, wanted to say the things that were actually the case and not just for public consumption, something that's not quite true.
Yeah, that's the way he's always lived his life. Looks like he might be having a bit of a conversation on the two-way there with John Hastings, maybe letting him know why he's not actually in the starting 11 today.
Three runs from the over, 19 overs gone. It's 62 for 3.
Shakib on strike, punched out into the covers, no run once again. 1 for 7, Travis Head, into his 4th over.
Yeah, it was glaring, especially in that India-Pakistan match when there was no swing even for people like Amir and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and the seamers started getting short. It's a point that I made earlier as well, but there's still some credit in getting the ball up. The old adage is to get it full and get the wickets.
No, nice, Eddie.
Mushfiqur Rahim,
Work on, Raja.
the ball that got him was pretty much again in the full length area, so something that you got to keep trying even if there's no swing.
Oi!
I say this
Nice, Eddie.
especially
Oi.
against Bangladesh. All their batsmen have been reluctant to get onto the front foot, so there's another wicket in that full length area. Haven't looked convincing when the ball has been further up, and I can understand perfectly why seamers don't want to pitch it further up, because there's been no swing in this tournament.
I think it's a really good point you make, Sanjay, and I think that's got to be your variation ball, though. The fuller one, you can't be full all the time and then bowl the occasional shorter ball. I think what Hazelwood did really well this morning.
Nice.
And good diving save from Smith, got a hand on it, knocked it down, just one at the end of the 20th over. 3 for 65.
So Henriques now in his 4th over. Well, clearly the story so far in this tournament with the new ball has been that it's not swung. We've had overcast conditions, we've had grey skies, cold days, but the ball hasn't swung. So here's my question to Ricky. With just 2 fielders outside the circle, the ball not swinging, it's a nice hard ball that will travel off the bat. Do you think it's worthwhile reviving the pinch hitting concept? The ball not swinging,
Yeah, it's an
then
interesting
somebody
thought.
like a Mitchell Stark for Australia in the first 10 overs, go after the bowling, it's not swinging. All you have to do now perhaps is handle the short ball, because that's going to come at you.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. Yeah, where is the innovation going to be in this tournament? Who's going to be the one that's going to try something like that? I mean, New Zealand is probably setting up that way a little bit now with a Luke Ronco. I mean, he's not a pinch hitter as such. He's more of a noted striker of the ball at the top of the order. It's something that, now that you've brought it up, these teams might start thinking about.
Yeah, I just wonder sometimes in cricket, as in life, there are trends, and suddenly it's gone out of fashion. But here's, I think, a compelling evidence that it could be tried. And have a batsman, not a Luke Ronchi, but maybe a Mitchell Starc, slightly more dispensable than some of the other batsmen at the top of the order.
Yeah, I think all the teams that have come here this time of year to the UK probably expected that the ball was going to be swinging all over the place, the 2 new balls, and they probably come with a certain game plan to be a little bit more cautious at the top, get through the first 5 or 6 overs, negate that swing, don't lose early wickets. But so far in the tournament, we've seen teams play that way, but there hasn't been that swing in the air. Teams haven't lost a lot of early wickets.
So do you think there are trends in the game?
Oh, there's no doubt there are trends in the game, yeah. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And you think back to the 96 World Cup, Sri Lanka started that trend, didn't they, with the 2 really dynamic opening batsmen going out and trying to maximise the first 15 overs of one-day international cricket. Then that caught on. Australia ended up with someone like Adam Gilchrist at the top of the order. All teams around the world. And then that's a good point, actually, when Gilchrist started playing, then all wicket keepers around the world had to be someone that could bat and maybe bat at the top of the order. So I think the game is, not based on trends, but trends tend to happen right the way through.
Quite close to that fielder at short mid-wicket, but you've got to say a very controlled pull shot. He's looked good. Tamim Iqbal has had to rein himself in a little bit because wickets have been lost at the other end, but another good performance here with the bat from Tamim Iqbal. He's looked good in England.
He has, but just his strike rate now, he's 32 from 58 deliveries. Having faced that many balls now, he has to bat right the way through this innings. He has to bat like he did in the first game. Get 130, give Bangladesh a chance to post a total around that 300 mark again.
Another good shot. Again, the tactic of bowling short to these Bangladeshi batsmen. 21 overs gone. It's 69 for 3.
Starc will come back into the attack, a change of ends for him. Pretty much downwind in his first spell. Hazelwood was pushing up into the breeze. Hazelwood did a good job with the new ball. Starc gets a chance now to 2 batsmen that are quite well set. Tamim has looked good. He's moved on to 33. No slips in place here for Australia. 5 men inside the circle. Backward point cover mid-off, mid-on and mid-wicket. Starc just searching for a little bit of rhythm still, I think. Still, to me, looks a little bit underdone. That's a good start. Full outside the off stump. Another one of those length deliveries that you've been talking about, Sanjay. A little push outside the off stump there. But I'll get back to that point, actually. I think where your wicket-taking ball, you try and set some batsmen up like he did with the first wicket of the day. Suman sort of set him up, kept him on the crease, just pushed one a little bit wider, bounced a little bit more, continued on with the angle, was well taken by Matthew Wade. It was a really good piece of bowling, I thought. Initial spell from Hazelwood today. His length was outstanding. Back to the sort of bowling that we're accustomed to seeing from Josh Hazelwood. It was pushing up into quite a stiff breeze, and here it is here. Perfect length. It's the length you like to see from someone that's 6'6". Pretty good seam position as well. A little bit of extra bounce. That's what you like to see when you're standing behind the wicket as a slip fielder. Class opening bowling.
Good cricket, good shot to begin with. Good stop by the captain at extra cover. He's a good bowler, Josh Hazelwood. Economy rate, career economy rate in 50 overs cricket under 5, and is also wicket taker, so that's a deadly combination to have.
That's where they're lucky right now, Australia. They've got those 3 wicket-taking options, haven't they? Starc, Hazelwood and Cummins. And then you put a good leg spinner like Adam Zampa on there as well, leading wicket-taker in world cricket last year. It's a very well-rounded attack. A couple of part-timers on Enriquez, Maxwell and also Travis Head. Lots of bowling options.
So here's the question. Why aren't too many people talking about Australia being the team to watch, or the fancied team in this tournament, the favourites to win the title? Why isn't there as much talk?
Well, there might have been before game one. I think their performance in game one has probably got people talking about some of the other teams. I think it was a less than flattering performance game one, albeit in a range-shortened game, but they just didn't look like they were quite in the contest. You know, they could have made a huge statement, I felt, game one, if they came out with the ball early on and showed great energy and great intent. They just were a little bit sloppy, a little bit lazy. But it doesn't really matter. That game's out of the way. They've got a chance now in the remaining games to really impose themselves, if you like, on this entire tournament. You can see Stark pull out there. He's pushing up into a very strong breeze. It's something that he's probably not too accustomed to through his whole career. Mitchell Stark, someone that can bowl around the 90 miles an hour, doesn't normally push into too much of a breeze. He's having a bit of a laugh there. You can see a bit of a smile on his face. Hazelwood's at mid-on having a bit of a joke with him, saying, come on, mate, I've done it for 6 or 7 overs already today. What are you doing? You can see the trees there in the background. Very blustery. And he comes again.
Offside field for you. The personnel on the offside with their names.
Very straight, isn't he, there? You look at the gap between mid-off and cover. Stephen Smith's very straight there. Obviously with Mitchell Stark's angle to the left-handers, generally drifts back in. Cut hard and put down. Put down by Maxwell at backward point. It was hit very hard, and they're coming back for 2. This will be tight if it was a good throw, but it isn't. And guys, men going everywhere out there. You see Maxwell wringing his hands. That's hurt. 72 for 3.
On the experience of these two batsmen. Here's the drop catch. See Maxwell very close, very keen to save the single, but at backward point, as Michael Slater would tell you, can afford to just sit back a little bit.
Down he goes. What a stroke. Absolutely brilliant. Over extra cover. That is brilliant. He's a dangerous campaigner.
Well, that's what the fans have come to see. That is a brilliant shot. Got an opportunity to free the arms a bit. Couple of steps down the track, and wow.
Goes again, this time to the onside. Not far from mid-wicket, but not close enough. He's on a roll now. Tamim showing us his power.
Tamim Iqbal cutting loose here. First one was over long off, and this one pulled away. Powerfully played into the gap. 10 of 2 deliveries for Tamim Iqbal. That was the 6. Excellent use of the feet, and then right from the middle of the bat.
That's 2 in a row, a 6, a 4. What's on offer here? Goes to the offside just to work it. Single, smart batting. He's another batsman who likes to use his feet. Advance to the bowler. He'll come onside. That second stroke, he got a short delivery, so he was able to smash it to the onside. This is the treat for Bangladesh, that he's still out there. And an example in a couple of strokes how we can make up from a lowish strike rate at this stage. Oh yeah, There's a man out there, but that's a nice stroke. That's the competition we're seeing out there today. Must win. And that the fact that he's out there, is in such electric form, still gives you that chance to make the big total.
Well, they all believe that the kind of form that Tamim Iqbal has shown so far, he will be the key.
That'll run away. Expensive over. Enriquez goes for 16. It's 88 for 3. $191, so if they can elevate that to 6 and over, which will take some doing, that's your 250. At the moment you're probably looking somewhere between 230, 250 with wickets in hand. So Travis Head 4 overs, no wicket for 10. He's been hard to get away. They've been quite cautious.
Yeah, huge support for Bangladesh, especially for Tamim Iqbal.
Shakib on strike.
Nice.
So it's gone up to 239, our score predictor. Takes in all the facts and figures, the opposition, the ground, the player, and players at the crease. So at the moment we're looking at 239.